sorry. Looks like I'm okay. Looks like you missed it. Yep. So tomorrow is media day, but not only is it media day, it is the day that Mikal Bridges is eligible to sign his early extension. And it seems that word is getting out that he is not signing that early extension tomorrow. May look like he may be waiting till next summer. And if he waits till next summer, he is eligible for more money. I was always skeptical if he was going to sign it. Uh, Everybody seemed to think it was a foregone conclusion that he was going to sign it. But the, the the extension is for 2 years from now. After two more seasons, it would kick in, and after two more seasons, he would be getting paid still in the 30s, when his value is much higher. Um, he has no reason to go that low. Um, Perhaps he's trying to get more reasonable salary. I don't blame him. He's a two-way player, and very much he could possibly be paid as much as OG Ananobi if he was on the open market. So why would you sign for something that low? Um, it is a business, like Dante learned. You can sign for less. Doesn't buy you loyalty. So why would he sign for less? Um, I was very intrigued yesterday when I heard of the trade, because I was thinking, what could maybe press this? I said maybe we need to look into this Mikal Bridges and see if he was signing an extension. Because if he did not sign this early extension, there was no reason to negotiate with Julius Randle. Uh, Whatever they offered him was all they can offer him. That number was not going to go up because you know that more money has to go to Mikal Bridges since he wants to negotiate next summer. Um, so that could be why this trigger was pushed right now instead of perhaps waiting for more convenient assets, or waiting or doing it earlier. We see the Knicks have tried for the last 2 months, according to sources, to get this Karl-Anthony Towns trade done. We see that they did not budge until Dante was included in the deal. We see that they pushed uh, Julius Randle um, and Mitchell Robinson, but the Timberwolves were not interested in such of a package. So once they put Dante in the deal, they started to talk, and they got the deal done when they included the conditional first round pick. I just want to look at the chat real quick. Salute King Ribby, Uncle Freezy. Salute. If you have any questions, throw it in chat. So this Mikal Bridges, I think it's going to throw a lot of content creators off because they assumed it was going to be signed. For some reason, the word was out that he was signing it, and there was no indication that he was going to do that. Um, so that is definitely news. That probably tomorrow, most people are going to be start talking about it. Um, so outside of that, Mikal news. Karl-Anthony Towns is a Nick, so we got a little bit more details. So when this first deal went down and we saw it on our Twitter feeds, we just saw we just saw Karl-Anthony Towns to the Knicks, Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo to Timberwolves, and the first thing we saw, the numbers don't match. How is this additional money coming in? At first, we thought maybe Karl-Anthony Towns, Karl-Anthony Towns is going to a third team, but we have since learned that Brock Aller is using pretty much the end of the bench. Our our I guess our no name end of the bench players, setting them to Charlotte, um, setting them up with above minimum deals, um, to equal the $8.88 million, to make this deal work. Um, it's a genius move on Brock Aller's point. Brock Aller seems to surprise us at every turn. Um, uh, Great job by Brock Aller. So we'll finally get to see the numbers, probably early this week. Um, but word has come out that the Knicks were shopping Mitchell Robinson heavy. So everybody wants to know, is Mitchell Robinson the next out the door? At the same time, Mitchell Robinson's hurt. So what is his trade value since he is hurt? It can't be what it was before. We know he's always had like decent trade value. If you attach an asset with him, you thought maybe you can get something decent in return. But with him being hurt, and not for a short period, being hurt till possibly January, you have to think that the return on a Mitchell Robinson trade wouldn't be very high. So you have to really think they're going to have to attach something. Um, we have one conditional pick. Um, at the same time, the value of that conditional pick has gone down. So what we have left is the Wizards conditional pick, which in a couple of years turns into a second round pick. And what we saw from Summer League, uh, Alex Sarr, um, just isn't going to come out the gate and take over the league. So we're really looking at that pick, almost certainly becoming a second round pick, and people who want to trade for picks are gonna look at it as if it's a high second round pick, um, a top of the second round, um, pick pick in the 30s. So we have to think about that, when we're talking about deals. So I reasons to trade Mitchell Robinson. If you're not going to get good value for him, why trade him? Maybe you need to make the money work on something. So if I'm going to propose trades, I'm not going to look at Mitchell Robinson being a big asset to bring something better back. I see on Twitter a lot of people saying, "Oh, if I want to give up Mitchell Robinson, I want something better in return." You're not going to get something better in return for Mitchell Robinson. He's hurt, and even when he wasn't hurt, um, most aspects of his game made him hard to put a high value on. A player who's, you can't play in the fourth quarter because their free throw shooting is so bad. A player who's often injured and who's injured currently, you can't put a high value on him. Um, okay, so Lauren Steele says, "What's the official deal?" We don't know. Actually, what I will say is I kind of wrote out what's up here so far. Okay, and this is kind of where we were yesterday. Um, so we know the Timberwolves get Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, Keita Bates-Diop. That that is solid. That's it. Timberwolves definitely got that. That's all they're getting. Karl-Anthony Towns. That's all we're getting, for now. The third part is Charlotte, and Charlotte, will be getting $8.8 million worth of contracts. So that's not only Daquan Jeffries, but we're talking maybe Dwayne Washington, and a third player, getting those contracts, signed and trade from New York. Um, the specifics are being worked out, because not only not only are they players at the back of our roster, One of the players that the Knicks are putting in the deal is currently playing overseas. So the Knicks may have to try to buy out that contract and then bring him and then make him part of the deal. So I think that's probably one of the things complicating the deal. So I think early in the week we'll hear news and we'll get the final numbers. King Ribby, I'm not trading the Black Ness Monster. That's a possibility. It's a possibility. If you want the full value of Mitchell Robinson, you could take the gamble of bringing him back. Him being a backup. If he could stay healthy for the rest of the year, his value will be higher. But if Mitchell Robinson comes back and he backs up and he gets injured again, how how you can't do anything. You can't. His value would be lower. Um, at that point, maybe this summer he would be um, an expiring deal you can trade, and they'll just look at it as an expiring deal. But it won't be anything positive. I think you have to shop him now. You have to see what he's worth now. They said they're taking calls, so you take the calls. You see what people assess his value at now. You ask them what they may think about him in January. If he's healthy in January, would you be interested in January? If somebody offered you something decent now, you'd take it. Um, but you may have to attach something or a couple somethings to make that happen. Um, if nobody has anything decent, you wait till he gets back. You see his impact and see if you could trade him again. Um, okay, the problem is we're in championship mode now and can't take that risk. Okay, so yeah, so a lot of people start thinking of what kind of trades can we do if we had to deal him now. I try to think of a few deals. In most of the deals I've thought of, um, don't bring back another center. Um, it's going to be tough to trade him for another center because they're obviously going to discount that he's hurt. And if you I'm trading you a healthy center is going to be a lot lower quality than what you're giving me. So I'm going to go and we're going to look at a couple and look at some of these names. And I tried to be logical in what I thought we would look at and addressing needs. So if I'm going to address a need and use Mitchell Robinson, I'm going to try to make up for the shooting I lost in Dante. And as I said, you have to attach assets. So the first one is D'Angelo Russell. So Mitchell Robinson, Deuce McBride for the expiring contract of D'Angelo Russell to make it work because both the Knicks and the Lakers are over the first apron. You need a third team to make some salary go out from the Lakers to make this work. And I know a lot of people aren't going to be happy. D'Angelo Russell is not a good defender, but he could play a little backup point guard, and he could play some minutes at shooting guard. Um, he is known for being a high value volume shooter, but he's not known for defense. This is the first deal that I kind of thought of. I'm not sure if Lakers would do any of this without some assets. They're short on picks, so I'm pretty sure they would ask for some picks, including that conditional first. The next trade, and a lot of people are. I see a lot of trades for some players that a lot of people have no business putting in here. This is another one where, yeah, we probably have no business looking at this player, but Herbert Jones. Um, we know, and I'm like pretty much only put it in here because the Knicks have talked to the Pelicans about trading for a player uh, with Mitchell Robinson, and probably the only player that financially made sense would be Herbert Jones, and we know that hasn't happened. But I'm just gonna put it in here anyway. Herbert Jones, Jeremiah Robinson Earl, from Mitchell Robinson, and the only assets that make sense: um, Pacome Dadier, and our conditional first round pick, and Kevin McCullough. I tried to get as close to fair as I could. That's as many good assets that I can probably muster in this trade, making sense. Um, a Coach Chiara said, "Why create more log jams at guard?" We're kind of actually short right now. We're kind of short on shooting. So right now we probably are good unless an injury happens. If an injury happens, we're in a bad situation. So probably getting a shooting guard so that we are not short in case of an injury. Okay, the next trade, um, and this one is probably the one I would say was most realistic. Mitchell Robinson for Larry Nance Jr. and Vic Krejci. And Vic Krejci, his name may seem familiar because the Knicks traded for his rights in the G League. So the Knicks have his G League rights, but don't have his NBA rights. So if Vic Krejci goes to the G League, he will be playing in Westchester already. But he does not play for the Knicks in the NBA. But this is Larry Nance Jr. has an expiring deal. Uh, Mitchell Robinson has a 2 year deal. And the reason why I put it here is just in case um, Atlanta really didn't do anything major this summer. If they had something they were brewing for next summer, having expiring Robinson next summer could make some sense for them if they had something specific they had to do. But that's pretty much the only reason I have it in there. And the last one, Mitchell Robinson and Deuce McBride for Kevin Herter. And I think it makes a lot of sense for the Knicks. I don't think it makes a lot of sense for the Kings. Um, Kevin Herter fills that shooting need. Kevin Herter fits that defensive two-way need, and he brings height. Um, the thing with the Kings kind of think they're the Kings are going for it. They kind of think they're the contenders. I'm not sure if they would wait until January on Mitchell Robinson. If Mitchell Robinson was healthy, I think this would work. Um, Mitchell Robinson not healthy, I'm not sure they would bite on this. Those are just a few deals that I put out there. Um, just Knicks, salute. Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, so if you have any questions, put it in the chat. I'm about to, you know, wind it down. Oh, wow, 46 in the chat. Thank you, thank you. Everybody in the chat, if you could please subscribe. Um, yeah, we talk a lot about like financial issues with the Knicks. Um, we really don't. We don't really talk about you know the game itself, but I will big up players for their great performances. I think tomorrow at media day, it's going to be interesting what they say about the Knicks, Dante, and how he fits in the Nova Knicks. I'm not sure how they're going to play the whole Nova Knicks thing tomorrow. Are they going to? start taking Nova Knicks pictures like they did like last year? Or are they going to start downplaying the whole Nova angle? Um, but it's going to be interesting. The reactions. Well, they don't expect Karl-Anthony Towns to be at Media Day. They don't expect Julius Randle or Dante to be in Timberwolves Media Day. So they will join the team later in camp. Um, Camp starts in a couple days. It will be nice to um, see Cat get some run with the team early. At least I know it's last minute, but at least they're getting it done before camp, and they don't just have to start the year on the fly. Um, Let me see. Okay, just Knicks. What about your guy Beef Stew? And Beef Stew's on Detroit. Um, Undersized. Um, Undersized, large contract. I think Detroit would deal him. Like if the Knicks offered Julius Randle for him, I think Detroit would get rid of him. They gave him too much money. Um, Too much money when they had um, too much money at the time. Then they draft a starting center. So you're giving starter money to a bench player. So if the Knicks gave him Mitchell Robinson, it would basically shorten the time. Um, they have that contract. Not only that, Mitchell Robinson is descending contract. So that'd be great. Markel Fultz, King Ribby. Markel Fultz is a point guard. We do have three, three spaces available since they cut Marcus Morris and Chuma Okiki. I really think uh, with the details of the trade coming out, I really think two at least two of those spots are going to go to players who are already on the roster as two ways. Um, I don't think the Knicks want to give a whole $2.1 million to a whole new player. I think they want to go get a two-way player and convert them because all they have to do is pay them like 1 million, 1 million and change. So I think it's gonna be. I think they're gonna go for the one in change. Um, Use those players. Hopefully, they can build up their value. Um, if they have to trade them during the year, that's a valuable contract. Like trading a rookie, um, it's valuable. So I think the Knicks. I'm my guess for the three players who make the last three spots. Landry Shamet for sure. I'm gonna go Jacob Toppin, and I think Jacob Toppin has a real chance of making this roster not being just a two-way, of being an NBA contract. And the third, I think, is going to be Kevin McCullough. Kevin McCullough, we have seen nothing with from him because he didn't do summer league. But the one thing Kevin McCullough has is size. 6'5", 6'6", can play point guard, can play shooting guard, and is a two-way player. So I think the Knicks are going to go with Kevin McCullough, Jacob Toppin, and Landry Shamet. Let me see. Okay. Yep, King Rivies, we're looking forward to multiple chips. Yeah, the Knicks want that four-way runway, but we know probably tomorrow Mikal Bridges won't commit his 4 years yet. So this may have been the reason why this Julius trade happened now and not taking his time, or why they they decided to finally include Dante DiFrancesco in this trade when the Knicks refused to put him in the trade for 2 months. So we will look forward to that. Thank everybody for tuning in. This is definitely my biggest broadcast. Please subscribe. I will appreciate it if you do put a comment. After it's done live, I will reply to it. If you want to give something in Cash App, that'd be great. To add to the channel, that'd be great. But your likes are plenty enough. Um, your subscriptions are plenty enough. So have a good night. If there's any new news, I will keep you up to date. Tomorrow, I know behind the scenes, um, Nick of Time show is going to be doing a special on for Media Day. So please tune in then, and I'll see you in the chat. I'm not sure if we're going to be doing any phones, but definitely tune in. I'll be there. Uh, Definitely, I will come live here if there's any new news to report. So, have a good night and salute.